Hey everyone, welcome to another Sharticles.
Barshens!
Train hauling 10 million pounds of human feces stranded in Alabama town. God help us if it gets hot.
I love that.
10 million pounds. Presumably that's weight and not like cash value.
Let's delve.
Technically, it's bio-waste, but to the 982 residents in the small town of Parish, that's just semantics. They want it gone. The load has been there for almost 2 months.
Oh, 2 months.
Guys.
Wow.
And it's making the whole place smell like a rotting animal carcass. To add insult to injury, it isn't even their poop. For the last year, waste management facilities in New York and one in New Jersey have been shipping tons of bio-waste, literally tons, to Big Sky Environmental, a private landfill in Adamsville. That's typical, isn't it? You own a private landfill and you call it Big Sky Environmental. Yeah. But in January, the neighbouring town of West Jefferson filed an injunction against Big Sky to keep their sludge from being stored in a nearby rail yard.
Oh, so it's just sat there like a pooey rail car.
Yep, literally. It was successful, but as a result, the poo already in transit got moved to Parish, where there are no zoning laws to prevent the waste from being stored. They need to pass a zoning law very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of what I presume...
Oh, wow, there's loads.
Yeah. Good God.
Gosh, stacks of it.
Mayor Heather Hall said she is doing everything in her power to get the feculent freight out of her town. Hall said the stench permeates everything. The rail yard is across from a baseball field and next to a softball field. Parish only measures about 2 square miles.
Oh, wow.
So pretty much everything is within smelling distance.
Smells like home.
On Tuesday, when Hall spoke to CNN, the temperature in Parish reached 81 degrees.
Nice. That'll get you.
Oh, you can't open your door because that stuff gets in your house. It's really rough. Other residents said the waste smelled like dead bodies.
Oh, jeez. And I should know.
Yeah. If they went to court over the matter, the other matter would just sit there, stinking up Parish until the trial was over. Oh, yeah, catch-22 there, isn't it? So in short, nobody knows when the poop will be moved.
I quite like the smell of some poo, though. Like cow poo. You know, like manure. Maybe it's the West Country boy in me, but I used to hate it. But now I kind of, after a while.
The ongoing troubling psychology of Barry Lewis.
Yeah.
Wow, that's...
I don't know, like methane, like something about it.
Hotel forgives guest whose room was trashed by hungry seagulls.
Ooh. We've had a few seagull shots in the past, haven't we?
Yeah.
They are horrible things.
Yeah, they are vicious.
Very
buggers.
hard to kill.
No such... Nick Burchill was banned by the Fairmont Empress in Victoria, British Columbia, after a string of unfortunate events in 2001. In a Facebook post, the Nova Scotia man described bringing some pepperoni to naval buddies on the west coast. The problems began when he decided to cool the meat on the hotel windowsill.
Oh, you're summoning birds. You're like, ooh.
Yeah. The brothers' pepperoni, a Halifax delicacy,
Nice.
had been kept at room temperature for a short time. He thought it would be best to make sure it was refrigerated. So he put it on the windowsill.
The windowsill, okay, yeah.
I lifted one of the sashes and spread the packages of pepperoni out on the table and windowsill. Then I went for a walk. For about 4 or 5 hours, said Mr.
That's a heck of a
Burchill.
walk.
On his return, he found around 40 seagulls.
40? Oh my gosh.
An entire flock in his room. They had been eating the pepperoni, which does nasty things to a seagull's digestive system.
Oh my gosh, was it a seagull poo fest in his room?
The startled birds then immediately started flying around and crashing into things as they desperately tried to leave the room through the small opening by which they had entered. The result was a tornado of seagull excrement, feathers, pepperoni chunks, and fairly large birds whipping around the room.
Oh.
The lamps were falling.
Oh.
The curtains were trashed.
I can imagine. Wow.
He waded through the birds and opened all the remaining windows. In his agitated state, he threw a shoe at one confused bird who tried to fly back into the room. Both shoe and seagull went out the window. We've all had days like that. Finally, only one large seagull with Pepperoni still clasped in its beak, remained.
Wow.
In a moment of clarity, I grabbed a bath towel and jumped it, he said. Both also went out the window.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, this is amazing. The shoe and the towel wrapped, but unharmed, Seagull landed on visitors arriving for afternoon high tea at the hotel.
Yep, this looks like the place.
This isn't Michael Jackson's baby. At that moment, Mr. Birchall realised he had just a few minutes before he had to attend an important business meeting, and he only had one shoe. He recovered his mud-covered shoe from outdoors and washed it, but a hairdryer mishap as he tried to dry it knocked out some of the power in the hotel. Isn't this just the actual plot to Clockwise with John Cleese? I mean, he finally admitted defeat and called housekeeping for help in cleaning the mess. I can still remember the look on the lady's face when she opened the door, he wrote. I had absolutely no idea what to tell her, so I just said, I'm sorry, and I went to dinner. Soon after, his company received a letter saying he was no longer welcome at the hotel.
Oh, wow.
In March, he sent a letter to the hotel requesting a pardon from his lifetime ban and asked them to consider the last 17 years as time served. The hotel confirmed to the Times colonist newspaper that Mr. Birchall's wild tale was true and well remembered by long-time staff. Yeah, I'll remember it. Bloody hell. It's one of those things where you can't make this stuff up, said somebody who had never, ever read a novel or seen a film.
Director.
His pardon has been granted by the Queen of Canada.
I wonder what suddenly made him go, no, I want to go back to that hotel again after 17 years.
I don't know, maybe got some more pepperoni.
Oh, God, yeah. Fury after Morrison's wouldn't sell couple meat pies before 9 a.m.
Fury? Really? Fury Gazette?
Real rage. God, he looks angry.
He does.
He looks like he's chewing a wasp. And he looks like the guy from Up.
Mate,
Doesn't he? He just like him.
what it was basically I was going to go into Morrison's at 8:45 in the morning, wanted me chuffing pie. Couldn't get it, and the seagulls flying around in there. Bastards.
Sorry, cut that out.
Hit us with the details then, Barry.
It should have been a simple case of pie and sell.
Hit us with less details, Barry. That's awful. Pie and sell, really?
But Linda and Tony were left piping hot with fury after their local Morrison's refused to sell the meat pies before 9 a.m. I wanted 8 large sausage rolls and 2 steak bakes, said Linda. It was what a hell of a breakfast that is. I could see bags and bags of pies all wrapped up on the cages behind the counter. The trolley was ready to be pushed out. But when I asked for the pies, I was told, we can't sell the pies till 9 a.m. I could have had a full fruit pie, but not a meat pie. A queue of 5 other confused customers formed at the oven fresh counter in Morrison's to demand their pastry fix last Wednesday. Wow, so they built like a whole posse.
Yeah.
But staff were determined to abide by the rules. Oh, good pun. If they hadn't been cooked, that would make sense, said grandmother of 4 Linda, which is a very important part to the story, the fact that she's a grandmother of 4.
Yeah.
But the fact that they were baked, well, it's ridiculous. If I could have reached over, I would have grabbed them myself. I was disappointed to say the least. She added, they are dictating to me when I can buy pies and when I can shop. Husband Tony, who eats fish and chips 3 days a week and rarely touches pastry, branded the decision stupid. Morrison's told the Gazette there is no hard and fast policy and meat pies are simply baked for 9 a.m. to match customer demand.
Fair
Apart
enough.
from for these guys. But Tony suggested a more sinister explanation.
What?
There's more to this, he said. Morrison's have got their own agenda. They don't want people to know about it. They have given too many ridiculous stories about why. They contradicted themselves over and over. Who do they think us customers are? We are the people paying their wages.
Very indirectly.
Pastry purchases.
What? So we've already dropped into bizarre conspiracy theory.
I think
it's a pie conspiracy. For what? Doing what?
I don't know, mate. This is weird. A spokesman said it appears that this case we should have sold the customer their pies. We apologise for any inconvenience it might have caused.
That's really weird. So this went viral. Now, obviously, I've seen it before as a result of that.
Okay.
And
I didn't see it. I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
Apologise, man.
Sorry for missing their viralness.
Haven't done your Sharticles homework.
So when you stumbled upon it, were you browsing your Twitter feed? Or?
Yeah, I think somebody, because a lot of people send me the Sharticles for inclusion.
Check some shart out, Stuart.
Yeah, check my shart out, Stuart. I remember reading it and you think, oh, silly rule. And then there's just these weird things like, they're dictating to me when I can shop.
Yeah.
What? So you get this weird entitlement. And then you get like the bizarre conspiracy theory out of nowhere.
Which isn't really a theory.
Yeah, and it makes no sense.
Yeah, no.
And then suddenly, Hang on. Are these people serial complainers or something?
Oh.
So a quick Google of their names and the same Gazette from 10 years ago.
10 years ago?
Yep. A couple who complained for years of a catalogue of antisocial behaviour, abuse and threats have been hit with a temporary injunction. And it is indeed...
Linda and John, is it?
Yes, there they are, look. In younger days.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. They were taken to court by their landlords who said they received a petition over 70 signatures. Apparently they just constantly complained and harassed people.
Oh, sounds like my wife.
Yep.
When are you going to change your pants?
And finally, from the BBC, Walsall pupils shown porn during Paddington screening.
Oh, no.
Children as young as 9 were shown pornography during a film screening at a primary school.
Oh, somebody put in the wrong memory stick.
Yeah, bloody hell. I'll bet that's literally what happened. I bet you, yeah. Pupils at Croft Academy in Walsall were watching Paddington Bear on Friday when the images appeared on screen.
Right.
The film was understood to have been streamed online, and school bosses blamed the issue on a problem with the Academy's web filtering systems. Yeah. Our web filtering system to keep children safe randomly inserts pornography in whatever they're watching.
Oh, my daughter's about to have the video.
Oh,
did you ever get that at school?
Well, just to watch Logan Paul, Jesus.
Well, I had to. Yeah, we had the. I don't know. Did you have that? Naked volleyball on the beach. Did you have that one?
God, the really old
sex
70s.
education?
Yeah.
Like, my gosh.
Yeah.
The lady, it was so 70s and 80s. The lady had an afro upstairs and downstairs, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. It was, but I didn't actually learn anything about the birds and the bees. It actually was quite a good game of badminton at one point. It was getting to quite a climax at the end. No, not that. But no, it was good. But like that was my daughter is literally. We had a letter. If you would like to preview the video before the kids see it, so you understand. So I was like, oh yeah.
If you'd like a copy.
That's right. Yeah.
If you would like to participate in the second version of this video.
Yeah. So that's interesting. How the hell did that even happen?
That is weird, isn't it?
Paddington Bear with Pounding Her Bear.
I reckon what it was they were streaming it off some piracy site and somebody had uploaded a dodgy... So somebody had edited that in and thought, this will be funny, I'll put it on the piracy site as Paddington.
At least it wasn't Winnie the Shit, though.
We can only hope it will be one day. I'm trying to think, we didn't really have sex education at our school. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
We didn't really have sex. Sorry?
Oh, no, we did. That's why we didn't have sex education. Half the girls were pregnant by the time they were about 17. So
yeah. My friend got married in year 9.
I can also remember, if you got any of the biology textbooks at school, put it on its spine and just let it go, it would always fall open to the pages with naked women pictures on.
Yeah. And someone very cleverly had always written right next to the naked lady picture the words boobs and an arrow, just to help you.
Yes, just in case.
Just to point out.
Where are the boobs? Oh, now I see. And then sometimes it'd say in the corner, turn to page 14. You go to page 14 and say, turn to page 36. And you keep going like that. And the final one always said, go to back page, where they'd actually written the message.
Oh, what a lovely story.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah. Well, family-friendly channel.
Yes.
Shite chocolate bar mocked because of its crap-sounding name.
Can you spell shite for us in this?
S-H-Y-T-E, shite.
That hasn't happened by accident.
Today's letter, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. Real chocolate, real protein, eat shite. It's the slogan. Brilliant. Do you fancy eating some shite? Well, you can, after a company released a chocolate bar named just that. As you probably know, shite is a slang term for shit.
Thanks, Metro.
If I could have reached over, I would have grabbed them myself.